Up there. Meeting is live. Man. Okay, we are up and running. Good morning and happy Monday. You are joining the Mañana no Mas morning check-in. My name is Kurt Van Anen. I am the host of Mañana no Mas and everything Mañana no Mas online. It is March 8th, 2021. And boom, turn off the sound there. There we go. And man, it is great to see you. It's awesome. So got a lot of things going on. One is this is the first Zoom connection that I've made on the new laptop. And so I'm running into a couple of things. If you remember when I got this laptop a couple of weeks ago, right? I got this new, this is a Yoga 7i and I got a Yoga 9i over here that's working. So when I got the 7i and started plugging in all my accounts and calendars and trying to sync everything, apparently there were some appointments that were in my Outlook, and I've got this Office 365 thing, and I claim to be a computer person, right? But I have Office 365. I made this brash assumption that things would, transfer as I signed in, would transfer into that account, which apparently did not. So I had ended up missing a few appointments because the new computer, the 7i, didn't pick up all of the preset appointments that I'd had in the Outlook. Okay. So now I'm hooking up the 9i today, right? So going through all that stuff and I started setting it up last week, and foolishly, the main reason I bought the 9i with the extra video card and RAM and bigger hard drive and all of that was to have a more formidable computer for doing graphics and rendering video. And I realized this morning I'm sitting here and I am building all this stuff up, putting all this stuff in place. And then I go, wait a minute. The first thing I should have done was render a video, right? Make sure that it actually does what I want it to do. Pardon me, I kind of flew blindly, assuming that it will. And it's a good assumption, right? It's a good product. It's Lenovo. It's a name brand. It's got the right video card. It's got all that stuff, right? But I want to make sure that it actually does it. So I realized, I probably should have done something a little bit different. But we're up and we're running, and it's Monday, and here we go. So taking a look at first things first, the email that goes out, the daily email with value-added stuff. Today, we are still focused on success traits, right? So today was another message that deals with the traits of successful people. I hope that you enjoy that. I've got this thing pre-planned out to get me through Wednesday so far. So today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we've already got content that's scheduled to go out to these email addresses and give people added content information on successful traits. And if you already think of yourself as being a successful person, or, if you're looking at some of this content, you go, well, I nail this. What's the deal, right? What I said in one of the emails was most successful people are really high in a couple of good traits, right? It might be communication, might be time management, might be, IT, might be, all these things. There's a ton of things that you might be, really exceptional at, but there's going to be areas where you go, man, this is an area of growth, or this is an area of, delegation, right? This is something I could delegate someone else to do for me. And so part of the reason that I put this series out, even for successful people, is to go, okay, you know what, now that I've read it from this perspective, or now that I've heard the voice, that Kurt's describing from this side of the room, this is an area of growth for me, or this is an area of delegation, or that I could hire out for, subcontract to. And so I just really want to give everybody the chance to see things for what they are. Any of those 12-step programs and all those things always say, you have to admit that you got the problem, right? And so while I might not say that these are problems, they could be areas of growth, right? And so that would be something that you definitely want to take a look at. Now, again, I'll say it again because it needs said. If there's new people coming into this messaging and they're going, who is this guy and what's all this about? Well, there's a daily email that goes out most weekdays. And if you go to mañananomas.com, mañananomas.com. If you click at the top there where it says Academy, a homepage will open up for our online academy. And on that homepage will be a form that you can fill out to join the newsletter list. join that list, and you will be the beneficiary of some of this content that goes out. Not only that, there's this daily YouTube that goes out. This is a YouTube live that I've made. So if you're on YouTube live and you're seeing this now, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you see that coming in on a near daily basis. And then I say near daily because I've missed a couple, over the last 3 months, I've missed a couple of days, especially if I'm traveling and consulting with different companies. And then when I make these YouTube live videos, I generally take the link from the YouTube live and I put it into the video diary that is in the Mañana No Mas page. So if you go to mañananomas.com again, and you look on the right side of that page, you'll see a picture of me wearing one of these shirts. I had to look at the camera to make sure it could see the logo, right? But yeah, it'll be a picture of me in the shirt. And you click on that, and then that gives you, and I break them out by quarters, right? Because it's a bunch of embedded YouTube videos. So I didn't want to just have one page with, hundreds of videos in it. I just wanted to go, okay, well, here's the second quarter of 2020. Here's the third quarter of 2020. Here's the fourth quarter of 2020. Here's the first quarter of 2021. And so, you'll see that there's a lot of content. And what's cool about it is, I think it's cool anyway, is I can go back in time and I can pull a YouTube live video from, August of 2020, and I can get a feel of where were we? What were we discussing? What level of the pandemic, was part of the conversation then? And what's the level of conversation now? And, a lot of people have given me not a hard time. I'm not going to exaggerate or use hyperbole to say that, I've been beat up or a victim of the internet. But some people have called me out on the idea that they thought I didn't take the pandemic serious enough, especially when I did the live training in October for the government with the election thing, all the Smartmatic machines and all that. Well, I was one of the trainers that taught people in the county of Los Angeles how to run the election. And they were live classes. We taught like 1,200 people in 2 weeks, right? So people were like, well, you're not taking it very serious. Well, I had my own impressions of, what the virus was, what the outcome would be, what my exposure might come out to, and I looked at the compensation I needed to raise for my family, quite honestly, right? And so I looked at that and I did that contract. Now we're looking at things like, let's take a look at South Dakota. Let's take a look at Florida. Let's take a look at Texas, Mississippi, and even with the border being open, with President Biden and allowing, we see on the news that they're allowing people with COVID just to come into the country in 72 hours, be released and go, oh, okay, released where? Where are they going to go? Homeless shelters? Like where are all these people going to go that are coming here, especially ones that have COVID? And what's that going to do to the areas that they're releasing these people into? Okay. But I personally believe that even with that happening, you're going to see South Dakota, Florida, Texas, and Mississippi, they might have an outbreak of cases, but as far as hospitalizations and deaths and things like that, we're going to see very flat numbers. And I think that the more that people see that, the more that people identify that, the more things come out, like the Copenhagen report, where they had the 6,000 people, half wear masks, half don't, who got infected. Well, 48 from one group and 52 from another. That's like still within the margin of error for most scientific data, right? So when you take a look at that and you go, okay, so there's really no difference between wearing masks and not wearing masks. There's really no difference between having your business open and not having your business open. If we can all get on an airplane and the airplane serves a meal and everyone takes off their mask at the same time to eat, well, then you've got 200 people breathing in a confined area, right? And then they'd say, oh, everyone got to put their mask on when the meal's over. Where's the logic, right? So we always hear follow the science, follow the science, follow the science. And then when science comes out with stuff that's counter to what they've initiated, they've got to figure out a way to wrangle that back in. And I'm not sure how much longer they can wrangle all this back in, because it's becoming more and more apparent that a lot of the lockdowns and financial decisions, especially these trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars we've printed as a nation, really wasn't needed. And so it'll be really, really interesting to see what the end result of this is all going to be. In the meantime, I'm focusing on the things that I can make a difference with, right? So the things that I can make a difference with, I can train. I'm an expert in fixed operations. So I'm training dealerships on how to increase customer retention, how to increase parts and labor sales, how to increase the profit margins, and how to keep their service department, glued together and make that work. That's my specialty. That's how I can add value, right? I can help these small to medium businesses improve their sales and processes in a way that drives their profit margin. So I'm really focused on that. That's the Power Sports Academy. The next thing is the Challenge Connection. That's another channel, right? So the Challenge Connection is a place I've developed online where people can go and host their own online challenges. It's like a Facebook challenge, but on steroids. It has more control, has more benefits, and has more marketing ability than, say, just running a Facebook challenge would have. And so starting on March 15th, I'm launching my own 10-day challenge to show people how to build their own 5-day challenge. And people that join this challenge will get when they're done with the challenge, they'll have a pre-built, content included, everything in it, right? Ready to go 5-day challenge that they can run themselves. And they'll have access to my platform for 30 days to host and run their challenge at the end of my challenge. So I'm super, super stoked to be launching this on March 15th. Now that means I've only got a week to go, right? So I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm going to limit it to 10 people, right? And so you want to make sure if you're in the inner circle here, you want to make sure that you've got this dialed in, right? Either you or someone you know and love needs to run an online challenge, right? Because it's a business opportunity. It's a huge new thing. When ClickFunnels came out, nobody really understood what a funnel did or why do I need a funnel? And now everybody that's an entrepreneur on the internet is talking about running a funnel, right? These challenges are like the same thing, right? This is a way for you to educate and communicate and build community with your business. And you got to figure out how you can use challenges in your business to grow your community. Now, the subject matter for my challenge that's going to start on the 15th is 5 days to healthy success, right? And because in my mind, I thought, this is what I'm passionate about. I love teaching people that physical fitness leads to fiscal fitness. And if I can get 10 more people propagating that message across this platform, right, and growing again among their communities, and then showing them how the challenge thing works to build community within their business, I think it's a fantastic opportunity. So March 15th, this is going to launch. There's going to be a small fee for it, but I encourage you to check it out. For what I'm charging to join the challenge, it's more than compensated because you get free access to the platform for 30 days after the challenge to run your own challenge and see how you can grow your community and communicate with your folks. And this thing is, it's going to have, the challenge content. It's going to have preformed emails to go with it. It's going to show you how to market it and how to grow your list. And I think that that's huge. Like Dave Gambrell says, grow your email list, grow your email list. When Parler gets canceled, when Rumble shuts down, pardon me, when people start bailing off of Facebook and Twitter does weird things, no matter what happens online, if you've taken the time to build your email list, you still have your community, right? And so that's huge, huge, huge. And a big part of this platform is getting people to build their list. So folks, that's it for today. I wrote it down last week. Let's take another look at it. It says, people who can see the invisible can do the impossible. People who can see the invisible can do the impossible. And that's one that really popped off to me last week. I wrote it down and I just wanted to keep sharing that with you so you guys stay on point. I want you to have a great, blessed week. It's Monday. Go get you some. All right.